You think money is the thing standing between you and a good life. I know you do. I did too. For most of my 90 years, I believed it right down to my bones. And I want to fight you on that today, gently, the way an old man fights, which is to say, I'm just going to tell you the truth and let it do the arguing. My name is Walter. I'm 90 years old. I spent 41 years as a butler and a house manager for wealthy families, the kind with gates and gardens somebody else waters, and a phone that has a direct line to men whose names you'd know. And now I live in a one-bedroom apartment above a shoe repair shop in Halifax with a radiator that clanks like it's got opinions and a window that looks out on a parking lot. And I am, God help me, happier than nearly every millionaire I ever poured coffee for. The richest people I ever met were the saddest people I ever met. That's not a saying. That's not a poster. I watched it up close for 4 decades. Stay with me till the end. Because the last one, number one, is a man whose name I still can't say without my throat closing up. And he's the whole reason I'm sitting here talking to you today. But first, do me one small thing. Put your age in the comments. Just the number, nothing else. I want to see who's out here listening to an old Butler tonight. Just a number. Go on, I'll wait. All right, I'm going to give you 5 of them. 5 of the richest people I ever served and what their money couldn't buy, no matter how much they threw at it. And I'm going to prove to you that the thing you're chasing isn't the thing you want. Number 5. Money buys a big house and fills it with silence. There was a family, the Ashcrofts, 14,000 square feet on a hill outside Vancouver, marble that came over on a boat from Italy. And I want you to picture something. 11 bedrooms. Then every single night, all 3 of them, the man, his wife, their boy, ate dinner in separate rooms. The father in his study, the mother in the sunroom, the boy in front of a television the size of a door. I served all 3. Same meal, 3 trips, 3 silences. Here's the trap. You think the big house is the prize, but a house doesn't make a home. Warm people leaning toward each other across a small table does. Mr. Ashcroft had 11 bedrooms and nobody to say goodnight to. So here's your challenge tonight. Wherever you eat dinner, sit at the same table as someone. Even if it's just the radio for company, sit where a person could join you. Don't spread out into the silence. Lean in. Number 4. Money buys the best of everything and ruins your taste for anything. Mrs. Petra Lindqvist. Oh, she had it all. She flew to Paris for a coat. She had a chef who trained under someone famous, and I'd bring out these plates, little works of art, truly, and she'd take 2 bites, push it away, and say, "It's fine." Everything was fine. A sunset was fine. A symphony was fine. Diamonds were fine. You know, when I saw that woman's whole face light up one time in 3 years, a cup of instant coffee and a plain digestive biscuit on a Tuesday when her arthritis was bad and I made it wrong, too much milk. She laughed. She said it tasted like her grandmother's kitchen. 2 bites of a masterpiece, nothing. A bad cup of coffee that smelled like being 7 years old, everything. Here's what I want you to write down. When you can have everything, nothing tastes like anything. The reason your small pleasures still work, your morning cup, your one good chair, the song that gets you, is because they're rationed. Don't you dare feel sorry for having little. Little is what keeps the flavor in. Number 3. Money buys people who are paid to be near you, and you can't tell anymore who actually loves you. Let me tell you something I'm not proud of. For years, I envied these men their friends, the dinners, the phone always ringing. Then I got old enough to see it. Mr. Donovan, self-made, tough as a boot, generous to a fault, and that was the problem. Everyone around him had their hand out, and he knew it, and it made him unable to trust a single soul. His own children he suspected, his girlfriend he suspected, me he suspected right up until the end, and I'll get to that. He said something to me once I've never forgotten. He said, "Walter, when you have money, you never get to find out who'd stay if you didn't." Think about that. The one thing his fortune could never buy him was the certainty that somebody wanted him and not it. So here's my question, and sit with it. Who in your life has stuck around when you had nothing to give them? Not the useful people. The ones who show up when you're boring or broke or sick. Say their name in your head right now. That name is worth more than the Ashcroft house. Number 2, money buys a future so protected you forget to live in the day you're standing in. Mr. and Mrs. Calloway, richest clients I ever had, and the most frightened. They had so much that all they did was try not to lose it. Every conversation was insurance, taxes, the market, what the lawyer said, what could go wrong. They had 3 homes and lived in none of them, because you can't live in a place you're only ever protecting. Mrs. Calloway had a garden she loved, roses, and she stopped going out to it. You know why? Because she was on the phone with the wealth manager in June with the roses right there. Here's the twist nobody warned you about. The more you have, the more of your life you spend guarding it instead of using it. Poverty steals your days by making you work, but wealth can steal them just as clean by making you worry. Stay with me now, because we're at the one I promised you. Number 1, the man whose name still catches in my throat. His name was Mr. Elias Vance. Old money, old bones, near 90 himself when I served him at the end. Biggest house on the whole coast, and the loneliest human being I have ever stood next to. His wife had passed. His children, 2 of them, hadn't spoken to him in years. Something about the will, the business, old wounds, the usual. He had a phone with their numbers in it. He never called. Pride, he called it. I called it fear, wearing a nice suit. And I watched this man, worth more than most towns, spend his last winter with no one. Nurses, yes. Me, yes. People who were paid, but no one who was there. The night before he died, he had me sit down. He'd never once let me sit in 40 years of service. And he took my hand, this frail hand, and he said, "Walter, I would give every dollar I have for one more ordinary Sunday. My son on the porch, my daughter arguing with me about nothing. I built all of this." And he waved at the whole mansion. And I forgot to build the only thing that mattered. And then he said the thing I carry with me every single day. He said, "Don't die rich, Walter. Die loved." He passed before morning, and his children came for the reading of the will. Not for him, for it. I stood in that grand hall, and I watched a fortune get divided by 2 people who couldn't remember the sound of their father's voice because they'd let the silence go on too long, same as he had. That's the day I stopped envying the rich. That's the day, at 70-something years old, I called my own sister, who I hadn't spoken to in 11 years, over something so small I can't even tell you what it was. And I said 4 words: "I miss you now." She cried. I cried. We had 9 good years after that. 9 years I nearly threw away over pride, so here it is. The whole thing. If you take nothing else from an old Butler in an apartment over a shoe shop, the richest people I met were the saddest because they had everything money can buy and almost nothing money can't. And the things money can't buy: a warm table, a ration, pleasure, a friend who'd stay if you went broke, a lived-in day, a person on the other end of the phone who loves you. Those things are not sold anywhere. You already can afford every single one of them, both of them. Tonight, let me stack it up plain: the big empty house, the ruined taste for simple joys, the friends you can't trust, the future you're too scared to live in, and the fortune you can't take with you when the only thing you wanted was one more Sunday. 5 things all the money in the world can't fix. So tell me, out of those 5, how many have you got right? How many are you rich in the way that actually counts? Just the number. Put it in the comments. I read them. I do. And if this loosens something in your chest, if you've got a nail out there, someone you stopped calling over, something you can't even name anymore, share this with them. Don't send it to a stranger. Send it to them. Let it be the thing that breaks the silence. I'm Walter, 90 years old. I've got a clanking radiator and a view of a parking lot and a sister I got back before it was too late. And I'm telling you, from up here above the shoe shop, I am the richest man I know. Don't die rich, my friend. Die loved.